recap of what happened in the market today and some of the trades we made. So we'll start off with the SPY. And really, this is a little bit of a difficult day. I mean, if you had just looked at the 1 minute starting off on a day's chart, there's not a ton you can really see, but you can notice pretty quick some just some like real fast scalping patterns that you could have played. Is you can tell right here, that's probably a good sign there's about to be a reversal. That red to green candle, bodies both on the same line, and then just the inverse of it right up there. Good sign that there's about to be another reversal right there. And so that gives you a little line right there that's probably a level to watch for a breakout. But really, I mean, when it becomes a lot more clear is if you zoom out a little bit, go to the 2-day, and then you can tell like you have these two candles up here, the high a day, those stick out as real significant. And so you just put resistance line right there. Then you have a resistance line to play with, and of course, I mean, that's interesting that those two line up exactly, the ones that we played, that I put a line on earlier that you could have played intraday. But then once it breaks out at that level, it just goes a little bit the whole day, goes up, takes a breath, kind of forms a level, goes up, same thing again, goes up, and then you have a little bit of a sell-off. But I mean, you would have probably had time to get out before this sell-off happened. These are 5-minute candles. But even if you just ate that entire sell-off, if you had entered calls when you had that breakout at this 253.09 level, then you still would have got a pretty significant gain. I mean, you're looking at this thing going from, I think it's about like right there, all the way to here, even if you had eaten that sell-off, 0.71% move on the index. So your call options would be doing pretty well. Then we'll just take a look at Amazon. Amazon today, I think it just started out with, well, waiting on my internet right here. You had a gap up, and then it tried to fill the gap down a little bit. That's just the wick of a 5-minute candle. So you'd have that as a significant level of the low a day. And then it just came right back down later, bounced off of that, and it did not enter the gap, which is usually a bullish sign that it's bouncing off a support that it formed, and not entering the gap. Because if it would have broke below this, broke below where that wick was, then that would have been a real bearish sign it was about to enter the gap. And so you probably could play that all the way down here for the gap fill. And then you probably would have had a reversal. But so anyway, you just play off of the support level, and Amazon just kind of went up. And once it really got up there, I mean, there's not a whole lot of trades here unless you're just a really fast scalper. It pretty much just set level the rest of the day once it got up there. So your main trade would have been bouncing right here off of the support and then playing that up to here. And you could either hold that, exit at the end of the day, or just, exit whenever you got comfortable. Main one that money was made off of today would have been ROKU. We talked about that in the chat. It had a gap up. And of course, with a gap up, you're always looking for it to fill the gap down. And so if it had, that would have been, probably would have went to right there. But I mean, it started off with a green candle and it just kept going up and never looked back. And that's a really bullish sign that it doesn't even ever come down and test the gap. And so, I mean, you really, this is a really simple one. I mean, you had a gap up, you had a green candle, never came down even, not one red candle to come down and try and enter the gap. And so you just buy it open because you have all that enthusiasm, own volume, a lot of volume, and it just kept going the whole day. And I mean, you have really no reason to sell. I mean, there's hardly any red candles from there really to here. I mean, there's hardly any all the way up to here. And it's just a slight incline the whole way up. I mean, the buyers really didn't act crazy, in my opinion. I mean, if you had one green candle that went all the way up to here, then you probably would have had a sell-off. But it's just a slight incline the whole way up. And so you can play that, and that, from there is a 14% gain. And so I believe we alerted calls, and I think the calls, I'm not sure we got them right at open, but it's pretty close. I believe they ran from like 86 cents to around $3, maybe a little bit even over $3, depending on if you got out up here. But so even if you just got those, when we alerted them, or if you got them at the open and held just till end of day, you just decided you want to get out at end of day, you didn't really see a pattern or anything that showed you to get out. I mean, that's a 13% gain on the stock. And the options, I was watching the options. That I believe the options moved like 300 and something percent. So you're looking at a 300% gain, and it was really simple. You just buy. There's no reason to sell, and so you just hold. That's all you had to do. And so, really, not a ton of complicated plays, mainly since that one made just so much money, a couple 100% on the returns. I don't think that people really had a need to stick around and try and get another trade. I think they were pretty satisfied. And so that's pretty much all that happened today. Thank you, and I hope that video helped some of y'all.